This is the 10th video of Play Chess and Play Good, and in this video we will be talking about Stalemate. So Stalemate is something that you don't want to have if you're like up material, but when you're like down a lot of material, you should try to get it. It's kind of hard, but sometimes your opponent will mess up. Like in this case, maybe your opponent thought, like, if I go here, I can checkmate next move. But what he didn't notice is that when the queen goes here, well, I mean, not that. Now the queen is controlling all these squares, so the king doesn't have anywhere to go because the other king's also controlling these squares, and it would be stalemate. And stalemate is a draw. So this is like you're down a lot of material. You're down a rook and a pawn, but you still can make a draw. It's by forcing it. Because when you check, you're sacrificing your queen, right? But the problem is when they take, your king can't move anywhere, and so can't your pawn, which would be stalemate. And stalemate is basically, you don't have any legal moves, not for any of your pieces. So if that queen was gone and the king didn't have anywhere else to go, it would be stalemate. And because the pawn doesn't have anywhere to go either. And if your opponent wants to avoid that draw, they can move their king, but then they lose their queen, and they would still lose. So it would either be winning for you or draw. This is basically a sadder example because maybe they know how to checkmate with a rook and a king versus a king, but they didn't actually take into account that the queen is actually controlling all of the king's squares. So if this queen just gets off the board, like if the king takes right now, it would be stalemate. The king has nowhere to go, and white doesn't have any more places to go. So here, and then if the king goes here, you would still go here, and it would be stalemate. And this one, they might be thinking like, wow, next move it will be checkmate. But then they forgot that the king doesn't have anywhere to go. The only square the king could go to was this one, and the pawns can't move. So if you take that square away from black, it's a draw, stalemate. And this one is the same. Maybe your opponent thought, I want to control more squares of the king because I can maybe checkmate. But they didn't actually notice, like they didn't even know that stalemate was a rule, maybe. I don't know. And then they moved here. Like, it would be stalemate. And when I started playing chess, I didn't know stalemate was a rule either, and then I stalemated my opponent with like a queen and 2 bishops or 2 knights and a rook. That was really sad. I thought I won. So this one is basically your opponent is kind of happy, well, very happy because he won the game, but he was celebrating too much and went here. Now this would be stalemate. The knight is pinned, and this knight is also pinned, and the king doesn't have anywhere to go because the other king is controlling this square, and the pawn is controlling this square. So the king can't go to this square or this square, and it would be a draw. This pawn is blocked by the knight, its pawn is blocked by the bishop. Like, what black could have done was just take, and then when I go here, you just checkmate. And maybe they wanted to have a beautiful finish. Well, they couldn't. Well, they could. They could promote to a rook. That would be kind of weird, but who cares? Well, I hope you learned how stalemate works, and I hope you don't fall victim to stalemate if you're winning. And subscribe to my channel, 26 Diagonals. Give the video a like, and bye!